Fáilte, uicha hamna, darklings. I hope your pumpkins are carved and your cauldrons are stirred, because the spooky season is upon us. And ghouls, do I have a freak show for you. With the Halloween season upon us, my fellow creatures of the night, on this channel we plan to celebrate. So join me, darklings, as we creep on into our first ever Spooktober.
Who's got my golden arm?
Rasped along with the sound of rustling leaves and the snap and flicker of the firelight.
Who's got my golden arm?
The stillness that followed seemed chilled and all too quiet. Everyone eyed each other, knowing what was coming, but unwilling to break the spell.
You do.
Flames exploded upward as Rick shouted, tossing his beer into the fire. The campers screamed and cackled in equal measure. Still chuckling, Brad lauded Rick's performance.
That was priceless, man. Beautiful.
Yeah. Did you see how Lil screamed?
Jimmy asked smugly, grabbing a fresh beer.
Did he see how you screamed? I, at least, still have my beer.
Lili rebutted smoothly, taking a swig of said beer and flipping her dark curls over her shoulder.
Hey, Andie.
Brad asked.
You okay?
The young woman seemed more shaken than her friends, her normally dark pallor reflecting in the fire in two pale shades. She shook herself,
I'm fine.
plastering on a smile.
Rick just got me.
Andie forced out a chuckle.
I'd never heard that story before.
Seriously? How?
Jimmy slung an arm around Andie.
You are so weird.
Hot kettle.
Andie did smile that time, leaning into Jimmy's touch. She knew better than to fall for his asshole persona, as did the rest of them.
True.
He admitted. Lili finished off her beer, standing a little shakily.
I think it's time to go to sleep. Or pass out. There's a possibility.
Andie arched an eyebrow at her friend.
You can just sleep after that? I think I need a couple more beers. Not something stronger first.
She managed to laugh, a true laugh at the exchange. Some little tension having left her, now that the ghost story portion of the night seemed to be over.
Gee, thanks, Rick. That's just what we needed.
Lili rolled her eyes and headed toward the larger of the two tents they'd brought. It had been universally agreed that nobody wanted to risk waking up Rick and Brad going at it, and therefore they were relegated to the smaller of the tents, while Lili, Andie, and Jimmy would share the larger. Soon enough, they had all headed to bed, thoughts of hiking the next day and enjoying the fresh spring even closer, easing any lingering nerves. Andie woke with a start, her brain taking a second to remember why she wasn't in her room or even a bed. She sighed once it clicked, listening to the soft snores and mumblings of her tent mates. That's when she heard it, soft as a whisper through the cattails in autumn. Shaking her head, she told herself it was just the wind. It was mid-September. Some of the trees were already turning, and a few even sporting bare limbs. Andie rolled towards her friends. She debated waking one or both of them, but she could just see the field day Jimmy and Rick would have, and it just wasn't worth it for an autumn breeze. Slowly, Andie relaxed and began to drift back off. wafted through the air, less like the whistle of living flora, and more like the rustling of dead leaves scratching and scraping against their surroundings. The sound jarred Andie out of her near slumber. She reassured herself it was nothing, the wild part of the wild outdoors. Still, sleep wouldn't come. Thoughts of every scary thing she'd ever heard, read, or seen flitted through her mind, and somehow it made the mere concept of moving, even to wake up Lili or Jimmy, too terrifying. Never mind actually speaking. The gravelly rustling stretched out, morphing more and more into words. Andie couldn't believe what she was hearing. She knew it had to be her imagination. Maybe she was still asleep. Rick's story playing on her subconscious. Through it all, Jimmy and Lili slept. Andie couldn't understand, unless... could they be playing a trick on her? All of them. Finally, Andie broke her silence.
Guys? Come on. Ha ha! You got me. Fun's over.
Though she'd spoken, she still wasn't keen on moving, her sleeping bag giving her a layer of false protection. She knew that. She did. None of her friends answered her.
Come on. Enough.
She tried again.
All right. Just stop.
She screamed over the noise, springing up and out of her cocoon. Suddenly everything stopped. No leaves, no branches, no whistling or rustling. Nothing. As quickly as the sound ceased, a full howling roar erupted. Andie screamed. The sun was making itself known in the morning. Yawns, cracking backs and necks echoed in the small campsite as the friends climbed out of their tents and sharing good mornings. Brad stopped. "Where's Andie?" Lili and James shrugged.
She was already gone when we woke up.
Lil informed them.
She probably just went to use the facilities.
Jimmy put on his best snooty voice.
Which is a splendid idea.
They watched as Jimmy walked off a few feet into the forest at the back of their camp.
It's not really like Andie to go off like that.
Lili worried slightly.
What? Don't tell me that even in the woods girls have to go to the bathroom in packs.
Rick teased. Lili shot him an unimpressed look, a retort fresh on her tongue, when Jimmy's voice tore through the camp.
No!
They all rushed towards Jimmy's terrified screams. When the three arrived, Jimmy was on the ground cradling the gaunt, lifeless body of their friend. Her eyes wide and glazed, a look of unquestionable pain and terror froze in a death mask on her face, and trailing down her side, tendrils of muscle and flesh dangled where once her right arm hung. Thanks for joining me for tonight's tale, Darklings. I am GoblinPrincessKyo, and if you enjoyed our encounter, then subscribe for more accounts and tales from the darker side of life. Ah, the Brimfail. Company is coming. Sweet dreams. Meet you back at midnight.